My name is Huck, Huck Finn, and this here's a story about me and a runaway slave named Jim. It's also a story about two rascals whom we know as the King and the Duke. See, this is our story, as well as the King and the Duke. One morning, Jim and I was laying in camp, and suddenly we hear this noise in the distance. We hear gunshots and horses galloping, and we look up and we see these two men run into the grove. So Jim and I, we hightail into our raft as quick as we possibly can, and begin rolling away. And these two scoundrels, they come, they jump into our raft, throw their copper bag in, and they sit themselves down, and they begin talking. They begin to apologize and stuff the like, and then conversation really gets interesting.
Well, what got you in trouble?
Well, I'd been selling an article to take the tartar off of teeth, and it does take it off, too, but the animal generally goes right along with it. I was just about to light out of there when I ran into you, warning me of trouble. I told you I was expecting trouble and would scatter out with you. That's the whole yarn. What's yourn?
I was running a revival for about a week, really cleaning up, charging per head, but then a report got out that I was hitting the bottle on the sly. One morning a slave woke me and warned me that the people was gathering, and they'd give me about half an hour to start, and if they caught me, they was going to tar and feather me. Well, I didn't wait around for breakfast, I took off.
Old man, I reckon we might be able to double team it together. What do you think?
I ain't undisposed. What's your line, mainly?
Printer by trade. Do a little patent medicine, a little theater acting, tragedy, you know. Teaching, singing, geography, slinging a lecture now and then. Oh, I do a lot of things. What's your lay?
I've done considerable doctrine in my time. Laying on of hands is my best hold for cancer and paralysis and such things. Preaching's my line, too, and working camp meetings and missionarying around.
Well, them two talked on for a minute or so, and then things began to get real quiet. And the younger guy, he says,
Alas, to think I should have lived to be leading such a life. Do you know who I am? Gentlemen, I will reveal to you, for I feel I have confidence in you. By my rights, I am a duke. My grandfather, the Duke of Bridgewater, fled here to be free and breathe the pure air. But through a series of dire moments, I, the linear heir to the throne, have been left here, banned to the company of felons on a raft.
Duke, you're not the only one born of fine estate. Yes, it's true. What you see before you in blue jeans and misery, the son of Louis XVI and Mary Antoinette, rightful King of France. Oh, it's horrible.
And then they started crying and boo-hooing and said that we could help them feel better if we called them their Highness and called them the Highness, the King and the Duke, and wait on them hand and foot. And then I suspected there wasn't nothing royal about them two. And then they started asking all sorts of questions about Jim and I, so I just slung them a story. Well, one morning, Jim and I were asleep in camp when the King and the Duke came to tell us about all their adventures they've been having. Well, you see, the King, he'd just gone to a revival meeting, and the Duke had a...
Give me a hallelujah! Give me a hallelujah!
Have a jaw. Fail.
Excuse me. Could I borrow the pulpit?
Yes, my brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, I used to be a pirate. But then my crew deserted me, and I wound up here. And it's the blessedest thing that's ever happened to me. I'm gonna go and change me ways and convert the pirates on the waves.
Let's take up a collection play.
And the Duke went to the printer's office to make some copies, but while he was there...
And what do you two gentlemen want?
I would like a subscription to the Post.
The same for me!
The Post, $4.50. Yes, thank you for your business.
And after they were done talking, telling their stories, they played cards for a little while. And after they were done doing that, they started looking through some old bills of the Duke's. And then the Duke got an idea.
I've got it. Next time we come to you,
We'll rent out the hall and perform the sword fight from Richard III and the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. How does that strike you?
Well, I'm hope for anything, but I don't know much about play acting.
And then for the rest of the day, the Duke taught the King how to act. They talked on, and eventually they got out their swords and all their costumes and things of the like, and they begins their sword fighting. And then the Duke taught the King how to say the Hamlet soliloquy and how to talk like Juliet. So eventually, we arrived at the right spot, and the King and the Duke, they stood around and talked and argued with the town mayor about whether we would be able to rent out the town hall for the performance that night. Well, eventually he said yes. And that night was our performance.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou? Now, Romeo, doff thy name and change light through yonder window. Right.
Well, the show wasn't actually a success, and most people left, except for one kid. He couldn't leave because he fell asleep. Well, the show made just enough money to cover costs, but the King, he said we just weren't reaching these Arkansas types, and that gave the King another idea. Take.
No, Frank, no, get it.
Take.
No, Jim, I'm sorry, it's just not working.
It's because I'm black, isn't it?
Take.
Mr. Director, sir, are you sure there are not piranhas in these waters? Take, people.
Oh, the river looks just perfect. Oh, why are those beer cans in the river? Oh, Frank. Take.
Does anybody else see...
Shut up. What they don't know won't hurt them.
Take.
Oh, Romeo, wherefore... Oh, come on, guys. You can do better than that.
Sorry.
Take.
Awesome King, you've wounded me.
Really?
No, not really. I'm just joking. Oh, the happy dagger.
Oh, well...